We'd be dead. We'd be dead.
We'd be dead.
We'd be dead already. 2 seconds in.
Yeah.
We wouldn't survive this.
No.
A Quiet Place, Day One, is a film that I think, this kind of reminds me of when The Purge came out. And you have this concept that is like grand, right? And it's like the whole country participates in this thing, and you keep it to like one little small area. And it's just about a family in a house, and people are trying to break into their house. And it's like, yeah, but I want to see the concept on a larger scale, right?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of movie you're looking for. And then they made the second one with this, and it was that family again, and they went out into the world a little bit more, but it was still pretty small scale. And it was like, even though we did get a little bit of what maybe some people were looking for at the beginning of part 2, with Day One, we get the Day One of their world. It only is maybe the first 10 minutes as to where this entire film is Day One. It's the day that they arrive, and which I was excited about, because this is kind of what I really wanted to see. I like to see the takeover, and how this all happened. This is the prequel that I'm definitely was looking for sure. So we have Lupita Nyong'o here, as well as Joseph Quinn, better known as Eddie Munson from Stranger Things.
Yes.
And as far as the plot synopsis goes, I'm not really going to give one. Takes place in New York City. It's the day that the creatures arrive.
Yeah.
That's all you really need to know.
Yeah, I think if you've seen the trailer, you have the plot.
I mean, the trailer does a very good job of selling this film without giving anything away, because there is an aspect of this film that was definitely hidden from the trailers. It's a character thing, and I'm so glad that I didn't know going in, because I think it adds an immediate weight, but also kind of like okay, I think I know where this movie is going to go. And we'll talk about that in our spoiler discussion, so I'm not going to get too much into that. So all we're going to do here in the spoiler-free one is just our initial thoughts, if this is worth your time. If you're a big fan of the Quiet Place franchise and just want to see more of the monster carnage in a bigger city, then this is your film, for sure. This was great. This is definitely what I wanted it to be, and it was more emotionally impactful than I was expecting it to be. But when you hire somebody, so like, with A Quiet Place, because you can't talk much, you absolutely need very expressive actors. Ones that wear their emotion on their face very well. And you get that here with both your your main characters.
Yeah.
There's also other characters in this that people know. I'm sure if you saw the trailer, you noticed that there is a character from part 2 in here. I won't say which, in case you didn't see it, but our main 2 is Lupita and Joseph, and they're very well cast here for this. You need a really great actor to bring to life a script that is almost all expressions and emotion without words and without sound. It's a very hard thing to convey, being limited like that. And there's this whole other layer of emotional depth that's going on in here, which is that character stuff. And man, that was such a smart decision for me. And we'll get to why in the spoiler discussion, but what do you think?
I loved it. I thought it was really great. I think that it's a great look at the first day, especially, as you said, like in the larger context of like a big city. I think we get a lot of like the chaos that you would expect from something, like this happening. So I really liked that aspect of the film. And then, I mean, truthfully though, everything is Lupita and Joseph. Like, that's their characters are the entire movie for me.
Yeah.
And I found that to be a very emotional film. I was not expecting it to be that. I was crying for a good portion of the second half of the film. But I thought it was really heartfelt and very human, and I really loved that as well. I think that a lot of movies that try to go for like a, end of the world scenario, I think that that's something that can either be accomplished really well or not at all. And for me, having that element of like the humanness and the human connection, especially like when the world is ending, really makes it like it elevates it for me as a concept. So I really love that. Yeah.
You're also not being 100% truthful, though, because Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn are two of the main characters.
You're right.
But there is a third main character.
Yeah, I should
throughout.
say it's all three of them together, which is fantastic. I really love the cat.
There's a non-human character here. And I do think that this is going to be something that either really works for some people, really doesn't work, or it's going to irritate people who are just constantly... Because there's so much added stress that's put to the movie because of this cat.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it greatly the whole time. It never bothered me. And this is a crowd pleaser of a film throughout. I think that it really does a good job of landing everything that it's going for.
Yeah.
And I was very pleased with all of that. And I think that if you're somebody who enjoys the more kind of action side of horror, but in a family friendly ish vessel, because if you've seen the first two, you know what to expect on that level. These are PG-13. You could take your kids to this. This is kind of like a family-friendly horror, thriller, action experience. Now, I could see some people thinking that there's not enough action going on. They would want it to be chaos the whole time, and it definitely isn't. We take a lot of emotional beats, and there is a ton of emotion, and it's a tragedy. I mean, at the end of the day, it has a lot of like very sweet, sincere moments. But I think the last thing I'll say on this is like, you have to understand, we already know what the future holds for this franchise. We've seen almost 2 years into the future. We know that day one isn't the end. We know that there is only more chaos to come, that no one is getting out of this in an easy, simple, safe way. So the way that they addressed that issue with our main character was very intelligent, because this is a prequel, we already know where this is heading. And, anyway. So that's that. I very pleased. This was the one I was looking forward to the most of this franchise, because this is the story I was looking forward to. And I was very happy to get away from our family for a bit. I know that the Quiet Place 3 is still a go. I'm assuming it's going to be Emily Blunt and the surviving people of the second film. So I look forward to that. But this was a nice little side story. Exploration of what it looked like outside of, as I said, we already got a condensed version of this in the beginning of part 2. We already saw day 1, but it was in a little small town. This is in New York City, and I think they did a really good job with it. You can only have so many monsters flipping cars and killing people before it becomes boring. So I think it's well balanced in that way. They balance the action and the emotion and the drama and the humor and all of that stuff very well. And it's a tight film. It's an hour and 40. They don't overstay their welcome. They know exactly what kind of film they are, and they know how to create something interesting and unique to this story. because you don't want to just do the same story of last time where it's just like a family, or like they do a completely different thing here. And people are either going to be on that journey and they're going to be buying into it, and the motive and the destination and all of that stuff, that might be silly for some people and they're like, I don't get it. And then the cat thing also could be a detractor for some people. But overall, I think this will be a crowd pleaser. I think most people who are fans of this franchise and are looking forward to this will be satisfied. Big Joseph Quinn fans will probably be a little disappointed that he doesn't come into the film until later on. He is not inserted into the film early. So if you are just there for him, know that you're going to have to wait a little while, a good amount of time before you see him. But outside of that, yeah, very pleased. And, looking forward to A Quiet Place 3.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, all right. It'll be out tonight, because we don't have the embargo lift until the morning. So, yeah. You can go see it tonight if you'd like to.
Definitely should.
Yeah, definitely. All right. We'll see you in the comments.